Good day. Today I'm here with my navigator Alex. Cool.
Yes, I'm Alex. I'll be navigating. Sorry, my connection's a bit spotty, but I am here.
No stress. Alright. Cool. So today we were going through chapter 9, inspecting and modifying our data. Um, so what the overview of this chapter was focusing on how to view, filter, sort, update, insert and delete our data in our SQL database, and also introduces best practices like using transactions and inspecting data before modification. Um, but mainly what was also covering is the fact that some tables in our database could have like dirty data, so inconsistent data that needs to be cleaned. So dirty data usually includes like missing values within the table, inconsistent values, duplicates, incorrect data, typos, and so on. Is there anything else with regards to dirty data, Alex?
No, you pretty much covering dirty data quite well.
Oh, okay.
Either inconsistent or like irregular data that's just going to slow down the process and not be simple to work with.
Yeah, basically. So cool. So I went ahead, did my own activity. So just created a simple table named superheroes over here. So let me go ahead and create that table. Then yeah, you can see it has the ID column, name column, the alias, city, see all these columns. Inserting all that data, so all the rows for each column basically. So in other words, inserting the different superheroes, as you can see here. So I'm gonna select all that data. Wait, didn't run this. Alright, cool. So basically, when I was referring to dirty data, you can see an example of how the dirty data basically looks. So for instance, firstly I have my ID column, name, alias, city, all these columns. And if we come to, for example, here in ID number 4, this superhero Wonder Woman, you can see here in the city column we have a null value over here. So that's an example of inconsistent data. Here we have some cities being named in lowercase, some of them being named fully in uppercase, and then some of them being named differently. So you can just see an inconsistency there and stuff like that. So let's see how we can basically modify the data and then clean that data. So some statements we use, such as update, set. So let's start with update. So basically here I have this update statement, which is fixing the white space in city. So for instance, over here we have this city, New York. I don't know if you can see it closely, Alex, but then you can see here there's like a small little space over here.
Yeah. I see what you're talking about.
Just a small example. So when you use an update statement, update basically we're updating the table, right? And we use the set statement to set the column, right? With this trim method. So it's gonna trim and take away all those white spaces. So when you run that, you retrieve that data again, then you can just see that's updated over here. So that's just a small example of how update works. Then using update again over here to set basically the city name over here, this city name, to uppercase letters, right? So we do that by locating it. We have to locate it using where. So we say where the lower in parentheses city equals to what the specific name, and then we set it to uppercase over there. So you can see over here it's in this column, and running that gets updated over here, as you can see. So yeah, just I have a bunch of updates statements here that I was using, but basically does the same thing but for different what's this, columns and stuff, so yeah, so that's how update
perfect.
yeah. So I've found this set statement quite interesting, because I didn't know we use that to update our what's this, data in our column, but it makes sense. So yeah. Then let's see. This is another update statement I used. So here I am basically fixing the power level column, right? So basically, if you look here in this table, we have our power level column, and just for my preference, I want the maximum power level to be 100, so I don't want it to be over 100. So I'll fix that by using update and then set the power level to 100, where this power level is greater than 100. So that will locate specifically this superhero over here, and when I update that, it updates that specific value, as you can see over here. Yeah, so that's how update works. I could go through all that over and over again, but nah, I think I'll move on to delete. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask, so like, because at first, right, I thought update and alter works the same, but
Yeah.
what's the difference with alter again? What does it do again? It doesn't update values, right?
Yeah, so what update's doing is it's actually modifying the data within the table itself.
Yeah.
Whereas alter, you're changing the structure of the table. So alter would be adding a new column, or changing the structure of it, or changing like power level from an integer if you want to change it to a bar chart for whatever reason. So you're altering the structure of the table itself, whereas update is just that's modifying the data within the table.
Oh, okay. So altering, your example would be like adding a column. Oh yeah, and in the previous chapter also was this adding constraints. With okay, now that makes sense. Makes sense. It is different from update. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that's specifically how update works. Then we have the delete from method here. This is basically deleting a specific row, right? In comparison to drop basically removes your whole table, correct? Yeah, that's what drop does.
Yeah, drop is you're dropping an entire table. Yeah.
Okay, so delete will delete a specific row from the table. Over here, as you can see here in my database, right? I mean, in my table, I have basically duplicates for this specific superhero over here, Batman. So here I have ID number 1, 3, and 8, and it has the same data. So in other words, they duplicate. So in order to remove those duplicates, I'm going to use the delete statement. So I say delete from the table superheroes, where the ID is not the same as the resulted ID that we get from this nested select statement, right? So when I run this, then it will modify that data, and we can see, let's see, okay, now I have 2 of them. Previously I had 3. Let's see if I run this again. Interesting. Delete from. So this is basically. So you saw the previous there was an extra row that was similar to these 2, but I wonder why these 2 are still here. But yeah, it deleted one of them basically. Yeah. So that's how that works, to delete a specific row from the table. Then again, update what I used. Count I explained in my other chapter and so on. So yeah, this is where I wanted to move on to. So we have what we call transactions. So basically, transaction is like a group of SQL operations that are treated as one single unit. So basically, these will basically be our transaction here. So in order to do that, we start with this begin statement, and basically what we want to do is make modifications to the table. So firstly, we're gonna update the table by setting the city name to the city name where the alias is Wonder Woman, right? So when we do that, then let me run this again. Let's see. Once that happens, then we basically updated the city name. As you can see here, it changes to, I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna attempt that now, but yeah. So that changes. Then we delete, say we delete this specific superhero over here, and you can see Spider-Man is no longer there. Now what happens is this rollback statement basically is gonna cancel all the statements that are within our transaction, right? So am I correct in saying that? So it brings back the previous results in a way.
Yeah. Okay.
So running that, when I run rollback, then I run my statements again, then it brings back. So it just cancels that modification that I made within my transaction. So it brings back the previous table in a way. So yeah, that's how transactions work. Then I think I pretty much covered the chapter, man.
Yeah, that's quite solid.
Yeah, anything you wanna add on to that?
I think that's perfect. I think you've covered it quite in depth. You even taught me something now with the whole transaction thing, the begin and the rollback. That was pretty cool. I'm gonna use that one for sure.
Yeah, cool. Cause I was actually thinking in the beginning of SQL, I was like, how would say we let's say I did accidentally delete a specific column or row, like how will you get that back? Like what's the command to actually get that back?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is it basically.
That's quite powerful actually. Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice stream, man. That's perfect. Yeah, I think that's 100%.
Alright, cool, man. Let me end the recording.